So far.
And we are live.
That was weird. You got a squeaky chair today.
That's my wave. Hello, guys. We're live. How you doing?
Welcome.
To Rise and Grind. Do we got anyone watching right away? We do.
We do. I wish
We
I
do.
could see, like, who.
You just click the little eye.
Oh, we're going to get some sweet echo. What do I know about that eye?
The eye's right there. I know you can click it and see who's watching. You have to be able to.
I don't know.
Huh. Anyhow, now that we're figuring out, episode 18.
Oh, I can see RJ. Hey,
RJ. Hi, RJ.
RJ is working through an injury right now.
Yeah, I know. It's a bummer. But that actually kind of works with what we're talking about today. Today, episode 18, we're talking about mental strength, and specifically mental strength in regulating emotions.
Right, and I think we're going to be doing a little mini-series on mental strength the next few upcoming episodes. Right, I think we're going to miss a couple weeks because I'm going to be out of town.
Not my fault.
I know. But yeah, we're going to do a little mini-series on mental strength, and mental strength is actually what we've been talking about in our match hats with the kids.
Yeah, our kids.
Kids and teens for the last month.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought it'd be a good topic to talk to adults about.
Yeah.
Super excited for that.
And I think part of the first, let's get something out. Let's define mental strength, which means mental strength, despite what you think it means, the way that we're defining it today is to regulate emotions, manage thoughts, and take positive action even when met with challenge. And I'd say even especially when challenged. It's not necessarily like acting tough or another form of willpower. I think it's something like the way that we were defining it to the children, especially when it comes to
the little kids. Because we had two different definitions for this one, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Same, but.
Like for the little kids, it was my tough brain helps me to do hard things, or my strong brain helps me to do tough things. And then you got into the big kids definition, or the adults definition, which was regulate emotions, manage thoughts, and taking positive action, which is the important part. And I think that's that key point, like regulating emotions, not trying to like stuff emotions.
Yeah, and I think a big part of it too is, being ready, right? On occasion, not all the time, when you're gonna go into a situation that's gonna require you to have mental strength before, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's a tournament and you're about to go out on the mat before a match, you don't want to decide to have mental strength in the middle of it.
No, we're not digging. I mean,
right.
we're gonna talk about that, but. Yeah, it's something that you've already, you understood your feelings. You understood like what you're feeling. You've taken ownership of that. And now you take some form of action. You have to do something to tame that emotion. So if you're really, really PO'd, understand, hey, I'm angry. This is why. What am I going to do that's going to hurt me? Or what am I going to do that's going to serve me? What actions am I going to take for to make this right? For little kids, we were saying that for instance, if you're angry, understand that you're angry and that it's okay to be angry, but let's find a way to outlet that anger healthily. Maybe it's punching a pillow, maybe it's screaming, and for adults, maybe that's what you do too. Or try to have some other kind of therapy. Come do martial arts, go to the gym, work out,
punch a bag, meditate.
Punch a bag, meditate, sit there and breathe. Yoga is very good for it. Have an activity that kind of centers your focus and like makes you happy. Something that you can take your mind off it. Or if you're sad, recognize that you're sad. Recognize that you're going through some kind of grief or something like that, and then reach out to a friend. Do something. Take a positive. Stuffing it in and hiding it is going to hurt you, and it's going to make things explode.
Yeah. And it goes both ways, right? You need to find a good way to handle your. I guess we could call it a negative emotion. I don't know if anger or anything is that necessarily negative ever, but I think you get what I'm saying. But you can also use mental strength to make good things better. right? A lot of times, if you're happy and you talk to someone about it who supports you and who gives you energy, right? Your happiness is going to get better,
Yeah.
right? And you'll be able to lock that feeling in and pull back that feeling in the future when you need it. So we have to take this kind of in both directions, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Yes.
yes. So I mean, mental like what was I trying to
Well,
bring
you
up on that
think
point?
today's coffee is from AM Coffee, but not sponsored by yet.
Not yet. So Cedarburg Coffee Roastery, if you're listening in,
AM Coffee,
we
employees
want
thereof.
we would love a coffee sponsor.
It will cost you 3 coffees a week.
Yeah,
3.
3 coffees a week.
And I'd wear a coffee shirt too. I'd probably even buy the shirt.
Yeah, I'd buy the shirt.
Maybe we just need to start wearing shirts, and that's gonna be our next thing. Instead of Nutriground
Ooh,
shirts,
yeah.
we should just buy some AM Coffee
I
shirts.
mean, we do have sweet Nutriground shirts. Anyhow, back to mental strength. For me, when I'm going through some kind of hard time, I call it finding my step one. I'm just like, what's the next thing I need to progress, and let's do that. Because sometimes things come out of nowhere, right? Unexpected tragedies or challenges come out of the blue.
I think most things come out of the blue.
Yeah, a lot of like stuff happens, right? And whenever I'm like, yeah, exactly.
So still boost this post on Facebook.
Be careful, they're watching. But anyhow, I feel like when things get thrown into a cluster, I always try to get enough clarity to find the next step for forward progression. Like, what's the next thing I can do to improve my situation, and then I can start building from there. And once you've kind of like the dust is settled, then you can redo your goal setting and your planning, and we'll be better prepared for it in the future. But I definitely recommend just finding a step one. What's the next thing I'm going to do to make this better for me? And then I think this is probably the hardest thing to do. And I think this is where real mental strength comes in, is taking an objective look at yourself and what you're doing that's hurting you and what you're doing that's serving you.
How can someone work on their mental strength?
I mean, take naming, like understanding how you feel in a day.
Yeah.
Understanding how you feel and putting names to it. And when you have names to it, you can understand it.
Name it, claim it,
tame it. Name it, claim it, tame it. Name your emotion, understand what you're feeling. You're going to feel something during the day, right? And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe someone at work just annoyed you, but like understand what you're feeling. Let yourself feel that. Say, I am feeling X, and then do Y to make it better.
And some people, it's there's a lot of different ways to do it, right? Some people it's meditation. Some people it's journaling. I love journaling. And it doesn't have to be like, I'm writing my diary. You could just write a quick sentence about something that happened and how it made me feel and what I did about it, right? But I'll do that for everything. No matter, what happens in a day, there's no such thing as a bad day. I'm a firm believer in that, right? There's bad moments, right? But every day always has some sort of good moment in it, probably several good moments in it that you can also capture and use to help your mental strength, right? If you go into it saying, today was terrible, right? That's hard to come out of. But if I'm like, this single event that lasted 5 minutes that, made me feel this way, and that's all it is, then that's all it is, right?
Can't generalize.
So it's like, it's reframing. It goes also along with the good rule of don't generalize.
Yeah. One bad thing doesn't, it's not global.
And don't talk in absolutes. I don't like
only
talking
a Sith.
I don't like
absolutes.
I feel like you said that to me before.
Yeah. I said that to Riley. Riley, if you're listening.
Yeah, people, I mean, this is totally off the side, but like, today is the best day ever. Then what does it leave for tomorrow?
Nothing.
Like, yeah.
You just completely
you just one-upped yourself.
What? Yeah. You just one-upped yourself. Wow. Today was the best day ever, which means tomorrow is probably not going to be that good.
Not going to be nearly as good.
It's give and take. It's give and take.
But yeah, so I mean, a lot of this, emotions comes from the talk you have in your own head,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Have that talk.
Just mute it. Mute button.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of different ways to tackle this topic. We definitely will be talking about mental strength in the form of like how to actually push through things like challenge and adversity.
Some more tactical.
Some more tactical approaches to it, and then grit. I think is one that grit.
I feel like there's a video going around about like grit.
Grit and the idea of grit.
Yeah.
I really respect the idea of grit, but they're all going to come together, and we're gonna understand this topic. It's a really wonderful topic. I've really loved sharing it with the kids. Oh, I was going to bring something back to martial arts for you. What was it?
For me.
Yeah, you were talking about something. Oh no! And I'm going to re-listen to this podcast and be like, that was the question I should have asked him.
This is why we have note sheets.
This is why, yeah.
Let's write this stuff down.
Feathers.
We're getting some good fake swears in today. I like it. You must be learning from Kim.
Kim's our front desk lady here at NutriGround. She really loves her alternative swear words.
If her mom's watching, it was her birthday.
Oh, really? Happy birthday,
she's
Mrs. Crowley?
She's one of our biggest fans. They went to a baseball game last night.
Oh, wow. Well, happy birthday.
But she doesn't swear. Like, honestly. She'll say fiddlesticks and 100,000% mean it. I love it.
Oh, yes.
Here we go.
How you were saying,
bring it in.
How much do you think martial arts helped you with the win or learn philosophy? And do you think that also bled into what you were talking about, how a day isn't bad, things are bad?
Oh, man. So first, win or learn isn't a thing.
Okay.
Because you're always winning.
You're always winning.
As long as you're learning.
Okay. Got it.
I don't lose.
Win and learn.
What if I don't lose?
Then I guess you still win. You still learn stuff. That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
I definitely learn when I win.
You should always be learning, right? Even when you win, it's always good to understand what your win came from, right?
Okay.
And to be able to replicate that and make it even better, right? Everyone can always be better somehow, some way. You submitted a guy in 5 seconds. Okay, make it 4 next time.
Make it 4.
Whatever it may be. But what was your question? How does it?
How do you feel that martial arts has helped you? Do you feel like you learned that from martial arts, or do you feel like you learned that?
I think I learned that concept from martial arts, but I just think over time and, hearing different mentors and stuff, I think they really helped me apply it to life.
Okay.
Right. So, whether it be John or Greg or whoever it may be, you don't connect the dots right away.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is easy to do it in martial arts because it's obvious when it's there.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you had a 5-minute match, you got beat, you get off the mat, your coach tells you what you did that could be better. Or you get off the mat and you win, your coach tells you what you did that went really well.
I probably butchered his name, but
it goes like it just happens quickly. It's very obvious, where when it's life and you're doing it with yourself, like a lot of people don't have those talks with themselves.
They don't recognize. Yeah.
They don't necessarily think about it. They don't write it down. They don't draw about it. They don't do whatever your thing is. And I think over the last few years, I really started to learn to connect those dots and to start doing that.
Because that's you've read on jiu-jitsu.
I've read on jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and he talks about that.
Yeah.
How it brings a lot of these light. Jiu-jitsu is good for this because within the lines of jiu-jitsu, there are these lessons, and you can see them very quickly. Mm-hmm. Where in life, the consequences are usually more grave, and they don't present themselves as often.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu, you get caught in an armbar. Ow. Done.
Right? And it's like, what are the steps that took you to being Kurt Ossiander? You fudged up a long time ago, right?
You are on it today.
I'm on it today. You fudged up a long time ago, so you take that same lesson. Like there were a series of events that happened while my guard was getting passed and I was being mounted and he was isolating an arm and I was getting caught in the submission. People think about the submission. They're like, oh, I need to work on my armbar defense. But they don't think about like, well, maybe let's not let my guard get passed. What if I swept him first, right? And that lesson goes further beyond. Like now, let's see if something bad happens. What could I have done that this blow would have been lessened? How could I have been better prepared? What could I have done to make sure that this next tragedy, the next time it happens, is already we've already, and this comes to preparedness and lesson and planning and goal setting and things like that to kind of tie in the rest of our episodes. But there's usually a series of events that lead up to problems in your life. I have learned that in my 26 years. That typically I fudged up a long time ago before something went wrong.
Yeah, I think that's good. And it's probably good, like, 80-20. This is probably more like 98-2.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I would say most things like that are preventable. But, sometimes there can be, like, unexpected instant tragedy, like, death or whatever it may be. Sometimes things happen, right? And I think that's why it's important to have this mental strength in place because, if something's happening slowly, you kind of prepare yourself and, work on it along the way. But, if you're not a mentally strong person and you don't know how to regulate your emotions and tragedy hits, then it's like you're trying to play catch up.
Yeah.
Right. And we don't want to do that. We want to be always ready.
Always ready. Neutral ground. Rise and grind.
Awesome.
Episode 18.
So hope you guys got a little bit out of this. We're going to be continuing talking about this probably for 2 or 3 more episodes after just different parts about mental strength. If you guys like this, share it, like it, heart it.
Review.
Review.
Please review.
Stars
on the podcast app. Even if you don't listen to us on a podcast, log into your podcast app, look us up, leave us a review, tell people to listen to us. We're just trying to help.
Cool. Episode 18, Mental Strength, Regulating Emotion.
It's like the 3rd time we said it. Bye now.